Okay. Hi. I'm Derek Harthauer, client and self-advocate. Um, and thank you for coming. Uh, um, what are best practices? Best practices are ethical standards to live up to ensure us disabled people have equitable and good lives. Some of the practices I introduced today will have some proposed actions for the regional center. Um, Ableism. First, discrimination. This is not the legal definition, but it's from my perspective, it's the definition that protects disabled people the most. Discrimination is causing or letting an environment to become unfair for a struggling identity. It can be intentional or unintentional, through action or inaction, and discrimination isn't just a result of treating people differently. Sometimes it can be the result of treating people the same. It can be discrimination if our unique needs are ignored. And discrimination against disabilities is ableism. Person centeredness. Person centered care means I get supported based on who I am as an individual rather than preconceptions someone might have about my community. My dignity is how I want to be treated, not how anyone else or any organization wants me to be treated. Whenever someone complains that their dignity has been violated, it would be gaslighting to say it has not, that others were acting in their best interests. That would be telling them that they are wrong to feel that way. The double empathy problem. This is the principle that people with different experiences have challenges understanding the perspectives and sensitivities of others. It is a barrier to person centeredness. Dignity at risk. People have the right to make decisions and learn from them, just as non disabled people do. Risks such as dating someone and getting our heart broken, trying a kind of food and not liking it, doing a sport and getting hurt. There is no freedom without risk. Infantilization means diminishing our ability to make choices because people think we are not capable. Invisible disabilities. Invisible disabilities includes mental disabilities like ADHD, autism, anxiety, but also physical disabilities like allergies, migraines, or blindness. Many experiences might not come with immediate visible proof. Um, some experiences such as pain, exhaustion, effort to concentrate, and behavior might look like rudeness when we are just coping with our skills and needs. People don't usually see the recovery time from exerting ourselves either. We have the right to be free from accusations of faking our disabilities, and we are the best experts on our own experiences. Dynamic disabilities. Ability is not always binary and should not be assumed as such. If we see functioning in one person at one time, we should not irrationally assume they can always perform at that task without support. Circumstances that create variability include stress, exhaustion, and emergent skills. Spoon theory is a way of explaining energy differences in the chronic pain community. The spoon is a representation of energy. We start the day with a certain amount of spoons, and tasks cost spoons. Simple tasks for non disabled people might cost a few spoons, but for disabled people, it might cost more. Some days we might wake up with less spoons based on our activities the day before and well being from the days prior. Resting can recover some spoons. If, if we burn out, we are essentially borrowing spoons from days in the future while costing us interest. Nothing about us without us. This is a slogan a lot of us say. It means we deserve autonomy, the ability to make choices about our lives. No policy should be decided without the participation of the people it impacts, because we know our experiences and needs the best. Decisions should not be made about a person without including the person. Um, some some suggestions for the regional center: to respect our autonomy, we should have the right to be present whenever staff are discussing our needs. Uh, to respect our privacy, we should have the right to declare what information about us is okay and not okay for staff to express to other staff. Presuming competence. It means all people are capable of learning, thinking, and communicating. Everyone needs help sometimes, and we could do anything with the right support. When it's shown that someone can't understand something, we seek to provide more support rather than exclude them from a task. The institutional mindset, to me, means that decisions are made about us for our own good without any influence from us. That everyone has to follow the same procedures, and if it doesn't work for us, it's our fault. It's not just about being put in a large building with lots of other disabled people. It's also exemplified when people justify their actions when we say they are denying our dignity. One potential action would be we should be presumed competent in deciding who we are. All vendors should be made to respect our preferred names and pronouns or lose funding. Honoring our gender identities is suicide prevention. Informed consent. We practice informed consent when we have all the information we need to make decisions. Plain language is language we can understand, meeting us where we are in terms of our knowledge. Giving manipulative feedback is leaving out relevant and important information to get us to do what someone wants. Being uninformed prevents clients from choosing options we don't know we have. The false choice is an example of this. This is when people present usually two options when there are many more. We might feel like we have a choice, but they are limiting it to what they want us to choose from. Some suggested actions for the regional center. Present a menu of all available services with easy to understand descriptions and pictures. Vendors are now listed on the website, but there are still more unlisted services. STP providers should also be on there. Provide a verified complaint history of service providers to prospective clients. Create a questionnaire for vendors to fill out and show to prospective clients to know what supports, limits, and demands they have for us. Reasonable accommodations. Accommodations are changes to the environment to help us feel fully accepted and to be able to fully participate. Bad reasons to deny accommodations include convenience. Inconvenience is how people show that they care about us, proof that our existence is worthy. Competition. This is the excuse that it would be unfair to others who are not disabled. Getting needed support is not cheating the system. Commonality. When people give the reason simply we don't do that, others have not gotten this accommodation or even asked for it. Those are the unreasonable ones. A couple of reasonable excuses to deny accommodations include unconsenting services. Accommodations should be based on agreed services. One is not responsible to help people receive services that one is not providing. Limited by resources. It is okay to ask if this is an ethical allocation of resources. People with the most needs should get the most support, but we also need to make sure the organization is sustainable with the resources spent. Even if you can't provide the accommodation now, we can still work to providing it later. Universal design. First, an individual accommodation is when a person asks for permission or support in doing something differently, like asking for extra time to take a test. Universal design is building the needs of everyone into the same environment. When you invest in making these accommodations possible for those with the greatest need, you also provide for those with lesser or temporary needs. While not always possible, universal design should be the first choice. It takes skills and stamina to know what accommodations we need and to follow a procedure to get them granted. With universal design, you don't even have to ask for the accommodation because it's pre-thought into the environment. Conflicting accommodations. Sometimes accommodations for multiple people conflict. Such situations typically require some sort of technology or creative solution for universal design. For example, if someone requires less volume and someone requires more volume, then tools can be made available such as headphones, earplugs, amplifiers, and hearing aids. Least restrictive environment. When there's not yet a way to accomplish conflicting accommodations in the same environment, it is unfortunately necessary to separate people by time and or space. For example, if not everyone can attend an event due to scheduling, you might hold the event twice at different times. Least restrictive environment means we should always prioritize supporting inclusion whenever possible. Restorative justice. Um, these are, I believe, are the necessary parts of restorative justice. First, acknowledge any failures we've done. Facilitate healing. It's essential to actually fix the harm done to a victim to the best of our ability. This includes loss of dignity. Determine how the event happened. Discipline individuals, and this does not mean punishment. It means facilitating personal development. Create opportunities for people to learn and use nonviolent resistance if they refuse. Improve the system. Every specific incident has systemic causes, and the whole community deserves to be able to address these problems. Some potential actions for the regional center. Create a non-monetary restitution policy. Whenever there is a failure to serve a client, such as in a missed deadline, there should be a meeting and plan offered to heal the harm done. Provide group therapy for those harmed by disability services and or guardians. Accountability. Accountability means accepting responsibility for the effects of our actions, regardless of our intent. Objective policies and laws helps accountability. It means something can be measured and counted and shown to others to be obviously followed or not. It is necessary to write the rules down to ensure everyone knows and understands and consents to them. We can't hold power accountable without doing so. Shadow rules are unwritten rules and policies. The existence of shadow rules helps make discrimination possible because organizations are unable to choose when to apply them and when to ignore them in each specific case per person. One example is, for example, I recently learned about another regional center. It was discovered some people are allowed to put TBD on their spending plan, but others are not. Potential actions for our regional center. Create a service coordinator action log so we can keep track of what our service coordinators are doing for us and what is still pending. Create a shadow rule log and report page that clients can add to whenever we discover a new one. The regional center could have a specified number of months to write it into policy or it goes away. Define terms such as retaliation and evidence base so that we clients can prove our claims. The social model of disability. There are several facets, but the basic premise of the social model of disability is that disabled people are a community with culture like any other and deserve equity with non-disabled people. My disability has as much to do with my abilities as well as how society supports or doesn't support me. In the medical model, it's assumed that our existence as disabled people is a problem to fix, and the less support we have to be given, the better. Public discourse is about how we'll never have full lives like everyone else. We're labeled as having disorders, and there's talk of cures. There's a belief that we are inferior because we can't act like everyone else, and any of our attempts to live a normal life are met with praise, which shows that we are pitied. Some potential actions for our regional center. Organizations that support disabled people to show and value disabled culture. We could create a disability center where we could meet with staff and share in disability culture and learn about the regional center. Since the medical model can be demeaning, we could create definitions of eligible disabilities using the social model of disability. Create space on the website for the CAC to represent our culture, values, experience, advice, etc. So I'm creating a client union for all clients of all regional centers. I want to move from less advice to more of an oversight and accountability. These are our regional centers, and we deserve to be the strongest stakeholder in how they're run. To achieve this and ensure our dignity, I'm creating a client union. I'm going to call it Mission Dignity. I'm still thinking of roles that the union can take, but I think there will be like violation tracking, demands made, demonstrations, and meetings and office hours are coming soon. Call to action. I hope we will be able to convince you. I hope we will be able to convince you to acknowledge the severity of all the problems and commit to the time and effort it takes to ensure our dignity. Problems can only be unsolved for so long before it snowballs and takes and harms the organization in question. Um, if you could, I urge you to guarantee these best practices as rights and ensure that they're in policies and in practices. Whatever process is necessary, you could put together a client's bill of rights, make a new committee or subcommittee, hold full days of meetings to create a master plan, or just invite every client and stakeholder into one room and have a constitutional convention and discussion. So thank you for listening to me today.